Okay, we'll see what this brings about. This time I've turned the tablet on first. So, yes, it is 1 o'clock in the morning, or a little bit after, about 5 after 1. And I'm painting. Okay, all right. If you look down below, or yeah, not down below. For me, it's down below. For you guys, it's the upper right. Orange, yellow, brown, and white for right now. We're gonna, I think you guys are gonna get tired of me painting a log cabins. I don't know why I'm doing so many cabins. Yeah. But we're gonna do one of those little fog type overcast paintings. Okay. But I'm gonna start off with a pretty odd looking sky. And the reason why is because of what I'm gonna put over it later on. Okay. We're gonna do our trees a little different. That'll take a little more time. I like the way these version of pine trees look, smaller brush and all of that good stuff. We're gonna use water instead of glycerin. At least for the main part of the painting, we're gonna use a lot of water because I need, for this process, I need it to dry quickly. I use heavy body acrylic paints also. Okay. Once again, I think it's another 12 by 18-ish watercolor paper, 140-pound watercolor paper on foam board. All right. Okay. I guess we'll just get started with the festivities here. And I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow first. I'll just bring it out here. Now yellow's transparent. We're going to touch it up with a little touch of orange in there, which is semi-transparent in itself. All right. And just a small dab of white, just to give a little bit of a opaqueness to it. And I'm going to dip my brush in water. I am going to use water instead of glycerin because I need this to dry. And it will most likely be a few coats going on this. All right. I am using, actually, I wanted to use a little bit of brown in this, and I'll get to that. I'll put that on there. But using water with acrylic paint, one, yes, it will dry rather quickly. Okay, that it will do. I wanted to brown this up a little bit, so I'll get a little touch of brown in there just to darken it up. But I use the water once again because I want it to dry rather quickly. Okay, and you'll see the reasoning behind that pretty soon. Now, using water with the acrylic paint, you're gonna have to paint a little briskly. Okay, but in the end, you give it enough coat so it'll dry rather cleanly, rather smoothly. It'll look pretty cool. Once again, it's just water, a little water, and paint. That's it. Back and forth, back and forth. Once it starts to tack up and whatnot, you can keep going over. But as long as you keep it in constant motion, you get it looking pretty smooth. So don't worry about lines and streaks for right now. Get a little water, water it up. As you can see by the look of it, the texture of it. Okay, no problem. No problemo. Like I say, it does dry. Go back and forth because you can activate some of that paint. And we're gonna once again put other stuff in there. Okay. And like I say, this is watercolor paper, so. And then I'll leave a lot of that alone. I won't bother it because we'll add other bits of texture and stuff to this. So don't fret, don't worry about it. So I'm looking at it and see what else I want to add to it. I'm adding a little more orange, a little more yellow, because I'll probably end up doing another coat of this. A little touch of white in there. We'll brighten it up down toward the bottom a little bit. Down here we'll kind of put a little, kind of touch it up a little bit more here. And then we'll come out here. Get a little touch of white, just a little bit. It'll blend in with that orangish color. Keep going at it. See that? While it's still wet, you can still work it. Work that little blend in there. Okay. A little touch of brown in this. I'm going to grade up a little bit. Get a little water. Come back up on top. Get a little more water. You'd be surprised how much water you would actually need to get this stuff going. If you feel you don't really get it perfect, don't worry about it, because we're gonna you have all sorts of trees and stuff going on in there, and you let it dry. Okay, just let it dry. You should be all right. You got to kind of think ahead when you're doing paintings. I really don't want it to be too busy back there, so a sky that's kind of plain looking will be fine. Okay, all right. Put that back here. We're gonna start with some of the trees. I guess I'll use this brush here. I'll get my scraper here, because I want to take some of this color, some of the same color. The trees, I want to give the appearance of them being a little bit further away, so we'll mess with the color that we have here. I'm gonna put a little bit of brown in this mix. It thickens up the paint a little bit, changes the color obviously, and then I'll lighten it up just a tad. I'll get a little bit of white in there. I do like this color, but it's a little too dark for me. So I'll take a little bit of orange. I'm gonna go to another spot right around in here. Get some of this orange, get some of this brownish mixing it with the orange. This is what I'm sort of looking for right here. So just a darker version of what you see here. Okay, it will once again give the illusion that the trees are a little further away. I'm going to loosen the paint up just a little bit with water, not with any glycerin, just water. This is just water and paint. Okay, and I'll start with a few of the background trees. I'll start with one, right about here. And then I'll just kind of wisp in some odd looking little tree shapes. Your water, your brush strokes will be a little varied. These trees are going to be pine trees. They're a little thin. Something like this. All right. And we're going to put a group of them together, different heights. Doing trees like this, it takes a little time, but the effect of what they're going to look like will be great. Okay. And you keep at it, different size. These guys are a little further away, a little shorter per se, somewhat. I'm gonna bring it down, and I'm gonna almost like a hill, so I'm gonna drag some of that color down that way. Small color palette for the simple reason of just like that. I'll make it a little solid down here. It's okay, because we're gonna, each layer of trees are gonna have their own little batch of fog with them. Okay, as I see the paint starting to thicken up, I'll just get a little bit of water, loosen it up, and really just keep it moving. I'll put another tall one here. It's small brush, little dips and twists and everything. Just make them look like pine trees. They get a little wider toward the bottom. This version, these versions of trees, get some smaller ones in there. Like I say, it's pretty close to the color that we have for the sky. Okay, so it will give the appearance of them being a little further away. Get another taller one in here. It's all right, just like this, and just keep it moving. And this is just the impression of tall pines in there, back there, around there. It's one of the advantages of thick paint. You just add just a touch of water in them. As acrylic paint dries, obviously it will darken, you know, and it's okay. It's kind of what you're looking for. Just like that. You want to sneak a couple of these guys in the back there? Why not? Put a tall one back there. Kind of go over the house a little bit. See that? Put another close one. See, you can get these trees fairly close. All right, just giving their impression of some trees back there. Let's put some here. And maybe another one with some height back there. There we go, just like so. Okay, so first batch there. Let it dry a little bit there. While I'm letting that dry, I'll get some more of this darker color, twist it around my brush a little bit, and I'll probably maybe tease some other ones back here a little bit. This is just me stalling for time. Like that. And maybe one more tall one here. Just like this. Just kind of play around with it. Like I say, they just the impression of tall pine trees there. Okay. Let's take I'll take a filbert. No, this is a flat brush. I'll take a smaller flat. All right. I'll use the corner, and I'll dry brush a little bit of fog in there. A little bit of mist right up around in here a little bit. It's gonna mix in a little bit with that paint just a bit, and it's okay. It's almost like a dry brush. Just get a little mist in there. Just light enough to where you can still see a little bit of the tree texture in there, the tree detail. So you dry brush it pretty thin. Once the paint dries, you'll still get to see little bits and pieces of what's going on back there. And keep in mind that we're going to be doing this for each layer of trees. Okay. And I'm just dry brushing, just pure white right now. And you just do it in layers. I'm not using any water, it's just paint right from the tube or a jar. Just straight paint here. Go down below here. You'll see as I'm doing this, the layers will start to develop. I don't need too much, just a little bit there. Like I said, I don't expect to see too many people checking me out at this time in the morning. So, all right, we're gonna go slightly darker. I'll use the palette knife. It's a little quicker with the palette knife. I'll gather up some of this loose stuff here. I'll put it right there. Okay, we'll add a little touch of orange in it. Still keep with the orange and yellow. A little more brown in it. I'm going to get these guys just a little bit darker. Each layer will be a wee bit darker than the other layers. And a little more brown in it. Definitely a slight difference in color value for each layer of trees. So not only do you have distance between the layers of trees, okay, but you'll see. Little water, okay, because I'm still going to use the same brush. So get a nice inky consistency. Roll your brush in it. This is a script liner brush, really thin brush. And now we'll start with the other batch of trees. These are a darker batch. I'll kind of do it right about here. And like I say, these guys take a little more water. They take a little time to do the do with them. Definitely takes a little bit of time. But once again, you can have these guys a little closer. Some of these are going to go off panel, off the page. And you can pretty much keep these fairly thin. As you can see, the inky consistency of the paint. Keep them fairly thin, pretty close together. And you just do groups of them. I pretty much know where to end some of these. Okay. Even though these guys are a little bit in front of them, you can kind of make some shorter, make some taller, up to you. Come on down in here a little bit. When they start to get in front of these trees, this is where things start to get a little interesting. And it will. I always like to keep my middles, even when I do trees like this, keep my middles a little full, and then you play around with the outer edge. Okay, bring it down. We'll bring some of this color down into the what will be the mountain. Let's put another tall one here, just like this. And you can make these as close as you would like. Up to you. Fluff this guy out a little bit. You can also tell by doing this, the more you do them, you can tell when the paint's getting a little tacky. Just get yourself a little more water, a little more paint. Roll that thin brush around and just keep working at it. And now we're getting into the other trees. Once you start going into the other trees, okay, just be mindful you got some mist back there. You don't want to totally get rid of all of your mist. I say these fellows take a little more time, but the effect of it is great. And what you want to do is you want to make them dark enough to where you see the separation of each layer. Of trees down there in between. If you feel your paint's getting a little thin, just dip into some thicker paint, put it in with the water, roll your brush around. Try not to rush it. You still need to keep the separation of the different darkness, the different hues of your color. All right. Well, what's going on? How you doing, Jen? Oh yeah, I'm on. I don't know why I've been doing them so late at night, but I have been. That won't do too well for my numbers, but you know, it's not all about that, I guess. I've been seeing you doing your painting your babies there. Now, as I use this darker color, no problem. Go into the other trees, but you make sure that there's a separation between the values so that you can tell. I'm going into my darker color because I want it a little more opaque. Now, I'm using no glycerin. This is all just paint and water right now. That's it, just paint and water. And I just roll my brush around, get plenty of paint on this thin little brush, as much as you can. Okay, I'm gonna bring something a little closer. They don't have to be as tall, really, because you want to still capture some of that mist and let people know there's yet another layer of hills back there. So each one that you do, okay, you can still see the little fog going through. You see the background trees a little bit. Okay, I can put these a little closer. My head is not in the way. That's good, so I can kind of see what I'm doing, because the only way I can tell sometimes because of the lighting is the glare that comes off of the trees when I put the paint on. All right. Oh, let's put a tall one up in here like that, and make them just a tad larger. Yes, obviously you're gonna cover other trees or whatnot, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Bring it all down. Bring it straight down. And you're looking for really relative shapes right now, basically. Okay. And like I say, I'm doing this in a way to where, we'll put one right here, nice dark one right there. Then this one here is like coming off of a house, and it's okay. Just like that. Come on down in here. All that roughness will help you. Don't try to make it picture perfect and super pretty. Don't do that. I need some solid color. So let's take a flat brush. Go into the color here and kind of bring some of that downward right in here. It's the same color, just make it a little more solid there. Bring some of that in there. Drag it down a little bit. If it's got to be a little darker, make it a little darker. It's all right. Once again, just paint and water. Just like that. All right. Doesn't have to be truly perfect because we got two more rows to do. Okay, so let's let this dry a little bit, and it'll dry. And when it does this, that's all right. You have a good night, Jen. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by saying hey. I appreciate it. And so I'll take a little bit of this white, and once again, dry brush a little bit of mist in there, just like this. And you're just dry brushing some fog in there. Once again, you're just getting layers of of mist in there between every row. Between every row. Okay, put it in there like that. And you're just really just dry brushing some fog in between some of these fellas. You're just creating an atmosphere between them both. Every row is going to get this. You get a little mist, a little fog. And I'm just doing basic white because once all these layers are done, we're going to go over all of this. And so all of what you see me do is just bringing the trees further back and further back. The further back you make this, okay, the more of a 3D, kind of a three-dimensional look you'll end up having. Okay. And you're just really lightly adding the layers on. So each batch gets a nice little layer. You can make some thicker than others, up to you. And I'm just really giving ideas. So hopefully you can take some of these techniques and put them into your own paintings. Every process I'm showing you is just a technique. So maybe it can help you out a little bit. So it's really up to you how you want to work it, how you want to do it. Truly up to you. This will be your painting, your style, your world. I'm just giving you a technique on how to do it. And this is a dry brush method. It's dry, just doing dry on dry. No glycerin, no medium, really. Just adding little bits of, stuff to it. Okay, let's clean this brush off. We're gonna move on to the next layer of trees. Remember, each layer gets a little darker and darker, okay? All right. We're probably gonna add a little bit of green to it. We're gonna sneak that green in there a little bit, okay? Which is why I'm using very little. I'll use a little bit of blue, a little touch. So you see, it's not much paint, but we're gonna sneak in some blue. I'm gonna use a palette knife to do a quick mix of it. Little touch of blue. Put it right in here. This might be the green I need. It's just that little, yeah, see that? That little touch of blue in there. Give me a nice green and greenish green color there. Okay. Okay. Let me see something. Get a little bit of this green, put some orange in there. And probably gray it out a little bit, which is fine. Yeah. I kind of like that. Just like this. I like that. Well, let's use that color. We're gonna concentrate with that color. But you can see the difference in colors. Okay, so that green still got a little bit of orange in it. So we're still talking about color harmony a little bit. All right, all right. Dip my fine brush into the water. Let's mix that up, get it a nice inky consistency once again. Okay. All right. And we're gonna go in between these guys. So once again, each row, I'm starting like right off of the tape there. Every time you get closer, they look more and more tree-like. So I'm gonna wisp some more branches out. Now, these trees are a little more opaque than the other fellows. Like I say, these fellows take a little more time, but keep at it. Don't cheat yourself. This paint, once again, is a little more opaque than the other layers, and that's fine. these fellas, they're a little closer, so I'm gonna add them. I'm gonna make them look a little more tree-like. Bring it down a little bit. Get some water. I still want this a little thicker than the other batches, so even though these guys take a little more time, the effect is pretty nice. All right, and like I say, the closer they get, they're getting a little more on the green side. You still want them fairly you want them a little darker than the ones you did previously, and bring it down further. You don't want them to look like little toy soldiers, so we're going to start staggering heights on these fellas pretty soon, and we will. If you notice, they're coming down in kind of a hill formation. I'm getting some more paint, make it a little more thicker, a little more opaque, and they have to be dark enough to where you see a separation in between the rows of the trees. So every once in a while you're going to stand back and check them out. Okay. Already put it in there. I'm just getting some more water. I got plenty of this opaque type of paint going. I think some are a little smaller. I'm brushing more to the left and right. Bring some down a little bit. Bring it down like that. These type of trees you can bring closer. It's okay to bunch them together. If they butt together a little bit, that's fine. It's okay. But as you can start to see, okay, some of these guys are once again, I want to make these a little more bushy. They're a little closer to us, and varying the heights and whatnot. I'm really big proponent of keeping the keeping the centers. Let's put a tall one here. Keeping the centers pretty thick. It's the outside edges you really want to kind of give the impression. Now my paint's a little more opaque, so I'll be dipping my brush in it a little more often. Left and right, they're getting thicker and thicker as we go down more and more with them. Okay, and they're turning a little more green and green, but I'm using colors that are very close to each other. Okay. You can use different varieties or techniques of painting trees to get the similar effect. Yes, you can do that. Let's put another tall one in there. I do vary the heights on them. Like I say, these are a little bigger, so make them a little wider. I'll dip into a little bit of my water. I got plenty of this color to maneuver around and play with. Just like this. Keep on going down. Cover all that up in there. Remember, with each layer that we're doing, we're going to introduce a little mist and fog into these fellas. As long as you got those darker colors in there. Okay, you'll be fine. Because it just makes the trees look like even more than what you actually painted, because that's just the way your eyes are going to track it. All right, basically. Just like that. Okay. Let's bring a little extra color down here. Actually, I don't have to use that thin brush to do that. We'll go back to our flat brush. And we're just bringing some of that color down. Bring some of that color downward. Bringing the color downward like this. Right? Just makes them a little fuller, and it gives your white paint something to kind of be in contrast with. Okay, when you add the mist. All right. So each layer is going to get a mist. Each layer is going to get some. All right. Okay. Like I say, because I'm using water, it's going to dry quickly. So once again, we're going to dry brush some white paint. Go down below. We can start up here. Go down below. And as the paint gets a little thinner and thinner, you see that? See the effect? I'm using the side of the brush, just going in a circular motion. The paint is on the side of the brush. Go slightly below and work it in. This is the advantage of acrylic paint. It dries rather quickly, so you can just add those effects. Okay, like I say, each layer of trees will get some of this love. And as you add this mist to this, the mist also builds up on the mist in the background. Okay, so each layer builds upon the previous layer. So if you got mist in the background, it adds to it as you're doing the mist here. As you can see. And I want it mist in between each layer. You're going to understand why in a minute. Okay. Which is why I'm going so hard per se with this type of background. All right. Let's take some of this and maybe right around in here, I'll add a little thickness there. And we're just going to keep it moving. Have it go straight across. Once again, all this does is add a little depth to your painting. All right. Go right across the other trees with it. Alright, so you got a little something floating right across all this other stuff here. Just like that. Alright. Alright. I think we'll have a little something right here. Before I add the other row of trees, let's put a little bit of something right in here like this. Go right across a little bit. All you're doing is really, you're adding aerial perspective to your work. Dry on dry. All right, using water and just water and paint. All right. We're going to probably use a thicker brush. I'm going to probably use a round brush. I want these trees a little fuller. Okay, and so I'm looking around. I do have round brushes, And as I'm looking around, I can put some of these other brushes away that are just like in the way. So let's put some of these other guys away here, so I can kind of clean up this little area a little bit. All right, I'm gonna look for a round brush. My round brushes are right behind me here. So let's see what I got that I can play with here. I'll play with this one. I can get them out of there. Yeah, this will make these a little thicker, a little bolder. Okay, we got this green here. We're gonna get a little blue. We're gonna mix that blue right in here, just like that. And we're gonna touch it up with some brown. It's just gonna darken it up a little bit. I kind of like that. That'll bring. Now, what I'm gonna do with this batch will come through here, be a little heavier. Okay, definitely got to add water to this. This is going to same type of trees. It's just the branches will appear to be much thicker because these are a little closer. You got me? And like I said, I want each layer just to be darker than your previous layer. Okay, all right. These guys are a little fuller, a little larger. Like so. So it's the same technique, but these trees are a little more robust, I should say, as you can see. And the paint's a little more opaque. I'll start off with one and I'll just keep going. These guys are in the front, okay? And I want the impressions of a nice size pine. But these are just larger, just like that. Always expand them. They always get, it's a triangle shape. You got me? Triangle shape, but larger. And you can get them pretty close to each other. It's okay if they're a little closer to each other. The little, a little crowded in there. It's all right. I don't need excessive detail in this. What I need is very convincing tree shapes. You follow me? So we're basically looking at silhouettes than anything else. And you want different tones and values in this. Now I'm adding water. This is thicker paint. I'm adding water, plenty of it, because it will dry on you. We'll make this one a little shorter, just like that. Come on down in there. All right, just like so. And we're gonna bring a nice shorter one here. It's all right, because you don't want to kill off all your fog. Okay. And up in here, more left and right strokes for these fellas. All right. Maybe another mid-sized fella right in here. Make it more tree-like. Deepen into more water. This is a round brush. Vary your hand pressure also, that helps. Those funky striations that you see at the end, which will obviously imitate leaves. Hello, good morning, Aurora, how are you? I just really didn't expect too many people to be up at this point in time at night. So I don't look at my chat often, but hello. Hope you're still there to hear me say, at least to say hello to you. It's good to see you. I know I'm doing a lot of these late at night. And every once in a while, for some reason, I do these late at night. Let's put a nice size fella right here. Why am I doing one this size? Well, once again, it kind of ties this painting together. It lets you know that, you know, you got some big boys in the front. Okay. And it helps with the perception of, you know, the big guys are in the front there. You know, you got the smaller ones in the back. But I don't want to make them so big that they kind of overshadow these fellas in the back. Okay. And then I'll start to kind of reduce some of these fellas. I'll make them much shorter. See, because I got the darkness, I don't have to make them huge. We know that they're in the front just by the color. And I'll bring some of these a little closer to each other. Because once again, these guys are dark. I can probably end them right around here. I'll get it a little shorter, but I'll end them. And I'll just turn them kind of in the bushes there. Okay, now, once again, I'm using 7:52 a.m. Where are you at, Aurora? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. What did I do with my flat brush? This is what happened when you put them away. There you are. And we're gonna mist this up also. Each layer gets a mist. Nice little fog bank of its own. Now I'm using pure water, just water, and paint. That's it. So it's a lot of dry brushing I'm doing, a lot of scumbling. And yes, scumbling is a word. And so that's what I'm doing. Using the side of the brush and doing it in layers. Everybody gets a fog bank. And once again, once you see it, you'll see what the effect is going to look like, I should say. Okay, but each layer of these guys get a little bit of fog, a little bit of love back here. Everyone. I don't have to change the color. It can still be this basic white. It's all right. It's okay. Okay. Let's go up in here. Let's add a little bit of traveling something right up in here. So every time you add some mist, every time you add a little bit of love back in these guys, it brings the trees in the background further back. Okay. But I'm going to do something a little special with this fella. I haven't done nothing like this in a minute. At least effect wise, I've been pretty much doing generalized things, you know. So, Sweden, okay. All right. Well, welcome, Sweden. Figured you'd be keying into the Olympics, or at least the replay at this time of day. I guess they'll be starting in a few hours where you're from. So basically I will wait for this to dry. As we're waiting for that to dry, which won't take very long, it is water and paint, acrylic, so it won't take long for it to dry. I can scrape up the rest of this dry stuff and stuff I'm not going to use. Just get rid of it. Now, I can really clean that off. It doesn't take very long. A little rubbing alcohol, just like that. And it doesn't take long. It just lifts right off, just like this. Very light. See, it comes right off. No biggie. So whatever mess I don't want, I just scrape it away. This white paint in particular, this brand of white paint, it dries like cement. Yeah, just wipe it away. It's no big deal. It wipes right away. It kind of leaves your room smelling like a hospital bed, but it's all right. As you see, it wipes right away. Rubbing alcohol evaporates, so it's all good. Okay, let's get a little bit of, now you kind of see the coloration and everything, but we're going to bleach that out. So once I bleach out this background, it will bring it back even further. Okay, all right. So we need a little bit of water, and I might give a little touch of blue in that white. Just need to contaminate the white with just a little bit of blue. Okay, it's just going to be overall mist. Okay, basically. I'll use a flat brush to do it. I should use a wider flat brush. I'm just using water. Put the water in there, just like that. You got to make it fairly thin, believe it or not. Okay. Now your paint has to be pretty dry to do this. Okay. So it's just going to be a watery glaze over all of this, but you really got to make sure it's dry so you don't get any streaks. All right. And you just take it and you're gonna go right across this, just like that. Go right across it. This is why you would need plenty of this color. And a flat brush, pretty flat brush. Preferably a wider brush than what I'm using. Okay. Now, if you get a kind of a streaky, liney look to it, that's actually fine. It actually helps. Because it's just an overlaying fog cast over the whole thing. Okay. And you can do it in layers. It depends on how much of it you want on there. It's really up to you. White paint has this chalky residue type of thing going on with it. You follow me? So it leaves a film, and you can use that to your advantage. But some of the ochres or some of the umbers, they have the, because it's made with, you know, rocky minerals to make the paint, so you're gonna get that kind of look to it, pretty much like what you're looking at right now. All right, and if you don't want that, you just use more water. Up to you, really. Okay. Then I'll go back over it again. Like I say, it depends on how much of this you're looking for. How much of it do you want? And all it does really is just mist out what you have already. But everything's dry that you put on preceding this. Okay. And it does dry rather quickly. And so I'm just building it up to effect that I'm looking for it, that I want. So this is, once again, it's 140 pound watercolor paper, so it's not like you're really hurting the paper any. This is what it's made for. And particularly the sky, I want bleached out a little bit better, a little more. Like I say, it's up to you how much of this you want on there. All right. It all depends on how much of it you want on there. I'll probably leave it alone right from here. Let it dry. Let it dry. Got to get some on the, down below here. There. Now, anything you put in front of this, okay, it will send that farther back and bring whatever you put up here up front. Okay. All right. Alrighty then. Now, as far as the ground is concerned, really up to you on what you want to do with it. You can make it hilly, you can make it grassy. It's truly up to you how you want the ground to be. Okay. I'll probably end up doing is when it dries a little more, I'm gonna probably take this cabin and work on the cabin, because there's going to be a few things more than likely in front of the cabin. Once again, I'm just building depth. Okay. All right. Let's take a wider brush. I'll go back with this fella. This guy's been pretty beat down over the ages. Look at that. That thing just looks scary, but it's still usable. So I will continue to use it. Ugh. All right. Let's get a little foundation going. We'll get a little bit of blue. We'll use some of that umber. Just like that. A little touch of yellow in there. We'll green it up a little bit. Just like that. Nice foundation green there. And I'm just using this really just to block all that in, because it's so, you know, blank with white. And we'll just kind of block it in a little bit. Block in all that. And come on in here. And it's just block in color. We'll put whatever we're going to put on there. I'm just blocking all that in with a little water and paint. It's okay. Get some more love and just slap it on there. It just, like I say, it just blocks it in it. I don't have to look at all that white. All right, just block it in. No big deal. Just blocking it in. Just like so. Block it in. All right. There. That's not so bad. We start building up off of that. Whatever I feel I want to do with this. So you can kind of play around with what you want to do. If you want a little path in there for your cabin, put that in there. If you don't want the path, don't put it in. Up to you. Up to you. Because I can always try out different things, because it's just the trying out stage. Let's say you want something like this. Then it stops. All right, and then maybe it continues over here. Who knows? Maybe it just kind of continues this way. And I'm just using the brown just to flesh it out a little bit, if I want it to be this way. Because as it gets closer to us, it gets wider, you know. So up to you how you want it. Maybe I want it. Who knows? Maybe something like that. Okay, maybe something like that, maybe. Who knows? Because maybe there's a hill here. Or a hill here. Who knows? Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we can do it that way. We'll see. But that's just the start of it. Maybe I want it that way, maybe I don't. but it's there just in case. Who knows? Who knows? I may want it there, I may not. Like I say, who knows? Right now, who knows? Okay. Are you tall enough to put in there? Yeah, sure. Let's get another brush and we'll start adding some grassy stuff. I'll start it off with a fan brush of some sort. We'll try this wide guy. I'm just digging into another batch of blue here. I'm gonna go into my palette knife for a second. I'm going into a little bit of brown. We'll mix the brown right in there with that green, get some blue. We'll mix it right in with this liquid green stuff here. So it's just a kind of a deep green that we're using. Very simple color palette this morning. This is about 2 a.m. right now. Okay, fairly deep, fairly dark color there. So that's a nice little foundation color. All right. Okay. Let's see what we're gonna do. I'll get a touch of water, not really too much. Kind of put it on this fan brush and just drag it. All right. What we're gonna do here? Let's play around. Let's play around in here first. We'll play around in here. We'll just kind of add some foreground stuff right up in here. And we'll just kind of see where we go from here. See if I really want this. Even at this stage, I can change it up to whatever I want. But right now, we'll just kind of play around with it. Okay. Now with this dark foundation, I can put whatever type of little bit of highlights on this, whatever I want. It's just a little touch of water just to thin the paint a little bit. And I'm just going to tap away. Like I said, I just see what I'm looking for. If this is really what I want to do with it right now. We'll see. If it's truly what I want. A little bit of yellow. We're gonna put it on the edge here. Slight touch of white. I'm gonna bleach that out a little bit. Mix it right in there. So actually a lighter version of what I got. This makes a nice blend. Bring it right up there. Not much water is needed, really. I'm just checking out things right now. See what I'm looking for. We're gonna bring it right across here. Let's see if it's really what I want. I'll mix a little bit of the other two colors together and put it right back here. Just like that. Mix it in a little bit. let's say it depends on it's really what I'm looking for, what I want right now. So it's just me playing around with all these colors. We can deepen that back again. What I'm doing, everything is not final at all. I can darken that area up. That might be the shaded side of the building over there. Who knows? So as I'm looking at it, maybe I'll have the path there. Who knows? Okay, who knows? As of right now, who knows? Okay. As I'm looking at it here more and more, we might put some tall grass in there, up in here. Before I do that, let's take a little bit of, let's wipe this away for a second. If I need this, I'll go back to it. I'll save it. I'll put it over here in the corner somewhere. All right. But I'm just clearing out a path here. Okay, let's get a little bit of, put a little yellow, a little white. All right. I ran out of my deep brown color, my umber, so I'll pour a little bit more umber in there. Just a little touch. We'll pop a little bit of that color in that. We'll marble it. We don't have to have it totally blended. I'll give it a little swipe across, and we'll put some we'll pop in a little texture. Right on across. Get a nice little dark edge over here, and you kind of slide that out a little bit. Bring some of that dark texture across. Put a little path right in there like that. And you just keep building on that. All right. The key to it is really your palette knife, keeping it as horizontal as you can. You can go brighter if you want. It all depends on what you're looking for, what you want. Okay. I will touch it up probably with a little more white. And it'll kind of, see this? Look at that. It'll build up on top of what you've laid down there. Go across it lightly. Got a nice little rocky path going on there. And like I said, a lot of this is dry on dry. So it's giving you that texture. Okay. All right, we'll leave that alone. All right. Now let's start playing with some of this grass here. So we got a little bit of this brown and white and other colors going on. We'll add a little bit of blue. We'll green it up a little bit. So we're getting all sorts of colors of green and different values and tones of green here. We have to brighten it up a little bit. Our green is turning into almost a very light green gray. That's fine. Okay. And we're gonna start adding little grass textures in here. I'm gonna give a little experiment first. We're just gonna, a couple of light taps in there. We'll start right here. We'll just give a couple of little light. And now you judge to where you want all of this to happen. Okay. So now you start building little paths of color of where you might want some of this to be. Interesting little groupings of grass patterns here and there. Really up to you. Up to you of how much of it you want. Truly up to you. Okay. Really up to you. I'll add a little more blue to it. Maybe a touch of yellow. Green it. A little more natural green here. Just like that. And we'll put some of that green back here. Very light, very light. Okay. Now as I'm doing this, once again, I'm just looking at variations of green. Where do I want certain things to happen and pop off at here? Okay. And you're just kind of building it all up. See? Okay, let's get a little touch of yellow in there. Just a little. Now yellow's transparent. I'll put some of that yellow in here. So what it's going to do is the color's going to die down here on this, and it's going to kind of meld in to the preceding color you put down below. But it's okay because now you still see a bright patch in there. Like that. So you got a little patch of little something there. Okay. I'm gonna bring that right to the edge, right to the border where I think that shadow of the house is gonna be. Okay, so you saw you build up certain things here. Let's bring some of that brightness up here too. Okay, just a little bit up in there. You see how you build things up? Keep building it up more and more. You got nice little patches of highlights without even trying. too much. Maybe a little love right in here, just a little bit. Just a little right up in here. Not, you know, just a little patch of it. It's still fairly dark in here. Like that. Okay, all right. All right, still looking. Let's take a little bit of, well, let's scrape a little bit of this away. If I need any more of this, we'll come back to it, but I highly doubt it. We'll scrape some of that away. Some of our orange and yellow is getting kind of a little sorry, so we'll scrape that away. We'll probably get rid of this yellow too, because it's kind of outlived its usefulness for right now at this moment. So let's scrape that away here. Sleep watching is safer than sleepwalking. Yes. Sleep Stacks. And how are you doing? Haven't seen you in quite a bit. I don't really expect to see people at this time in the morning at 2:23, so it's 2:23 a.m. at the time of me doing this. All right, so I live in Eastern New York State, so it's pretty early in the morning, Saturday, at the time I'm recording this. Okay, what was that? Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. All right, let's put some interesting little, I guess you can call them flowers, but with little dots of color. Kind of wake this up front. All right, before we tend to stuff back here in the house. All right, let's take a little touch of red, don't need too much. Nice opposite color. We'll put a dot of it right up around here. Okay. I might want to use a smaller brush than this, so let's use this fella. Still a fan brush. We'll come here with, bring some of that out like that. Get a little bit of water, put it in there, loosen that paint up a tad. It's like that. I might want to add just a slight bit of white, just to brighten it up, just a little bit. This might be enough. We'll find out in a second. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get pretty close. Yeah, this will do. And see, you should be able to see a little bit of that. So we'll pop some red in there like this. Some little red flowery things going in there like that. That's a little too thick because my nail hit it. That's okay. We'll pop some of them back there, but pretty much in here. Get some red patches going like that. We'll get it a little bit brighter. Circle it around. Get a little touch of water. We'll put some brighter ones back here so they kind of stand out. So see that? I'm pretty close to it, so pop some nice red patches in there like that. Okay, I might offer up a little bit of love here, but mainly it's around in here. We'll put some bluebells in here too. The blue is really attractive. Bluebells will really make that stand out. All right, and I do have enough blue for that. So let's go into our blue right here. We'll put the blue right there. That white in there like that. Get a little touch of water. We'll probably brighten that blue a little more. It will should show pretty good. Once again, a little bit of water. All right, it paints still pretty thick, and then we'll And then the bluebells will look nice here. Pop some of them, those blue things in there like that. Pretty close to it here. Get some more. We'll pop some up here, a little higher up though. And they kind of show a little nicer in the darker areas. But we'll pop some bluebells in there. Get your paint pretty watery. You guys get pretty close to the canvas or whatnot. It kind of controls all the splatter. You can pretty much control where it goes. Okay, which is basically what I'm doing. Like so. Really put those little colors in there. Make them really stand out there. All right. Yeah. Put some of the bluebells back there. Okay, that's cool. And, you know, give it the opportunity to dry a little bit. All right. Okay. All right, let's go into what I don't have. So hold on a second. I don't really need the blue and the red right now. I can kind of get rid of this stuff. It's pretty watery. I just wipe it on my towel here on the side. Scrape it away and wipe it on the towel. I got a beach towel on my lap here. A good one too, thick one. That I bought specifically for this. I do wash it by itself. Does it come out clean? Well, it's stained pretty good, but it is clean. All right. Let's get another touch of yellow. Remember, yellow is extremely transparent. So if you need to use the yellow, you're gonna have to kind of beef it up with a little bit of white. Okay, just to make it even up here. All right. Okay. And we'll pop a little bit of now I want my grass a little woolly. So now what you do is you get a patch of grass and then you get a nice trail somewhere like that. Okay. And you come on the other side, bring some sporadically out in this direction. So you know, like I say, this is how you kind of move your eye along in the painting. Get a batch of it like this, wherever you think the sun might hit, and then you thin it out. So you get a nice grouping of it, and then you thin it out. And that's how you make that little trail. Okay. See, you start to slowly build up your over here. You can get like a little hill going there, a little higher here, right? Then you just start to kind of thin it out. Come over here. Once again, you kind of framing out where the shadow side of that house is there. Okay, all right. Put a little bit of a glow there too, if you would like. Only a few bits. See, just like that. Little patches here and there, just like that. See, you slowly start to build up your grasses and your foliage and whatnot. Excuse me. Okay. So as I'm looking at it and whatnot, there is a few items I'm going to put in here before I head to the house. But before I do that, let's put a few tall grasses in here. I could use this, but we'll use the liner brush for it. So a bit of water. We'll use this stuff here. you might not see it as off camera. It is off camera for you. It's just below here, that green I was talking about. But I'm going to use some white, put it in the green, because you need something bright for it to be seen. And what it's going to do is just turn it that kind of a light gray green. No problem. Okay. Really watery mix. As thin as you can pretty get it. And then I'm going to just kind of put in little thin patches of grass like this around this edge. Put some over here. It's going to have to be a little bit lighter. It's not light enough, believe it or not. It needs to be even brighter so it can be seen. You'll be surprised how much white you would need to use to brighten up something. All depending on what you're doing. And so it's like that. Come on, pop it in there. It's like that. Put those grasses in there. See that? Make interesting little patches of them. Some kind of go up and over like that, and then come up in here. I'll put them in sporadically. They don't all have to be the same height. Just patch them in there. Nice, interesting little patches. Okay. I don't have to go too far up into the painting for them. You know, you can kind of put them up in here like this, like that. Keep your paint a little bit watery. Okay. Sometimes you might have to go over them a few times. It all depends on the intensity of the white that you put in them. Obviously, if they're getting closer to the page here, toward the bottom, you're adding them. They're a little larger. There's more of them. Okay. Like so. Just like that. Go in different directions with them. The wilder you have it looking, the better it is. Let's go over here in this corner. All right. And you really see that? You can put some bigger ones over there in that corner. It's like that. Alright. Just like that. Put it in there. Put them in. Don't be shy. If you meant to put them in there, you put them in and you roll that paint into the watery paint, and you just kind of put them in there. Just like so. Now remember, if it looks a little gaudy or too bright, remember this stuff dies down. Alright. When it dries, it dulls out a little bit. It evaporates. You got me? Okay. All right. I don't have to go across the whole page with it. They can get smaller and smaller. You're just putting something in the foreground. Everything you put in the foreground, in the immediate foreground, it brings everything back, even blades of grass. Whatever you have, even that little batch, still sends it back. It's what your eye perceives. You got me? I'm sure you do. All right. I don't know what that is on TV. Oh crap. It's one of them early, what is that? Oh no, I know what it is. One of them car shows with that Fast and Furious woman. Yeah, I'll be ignoring that. Okay. All right. So, I want some very large trees coming up through here. Once again, that will add, once throwing all of this back. Okay, I've already had this pre-planned. So, and this, you're going to really see the trunks more than anything else. All right, they'll be put up here, a group of them. They'll be in front of here. Everything that I put there, remember, is going to send things back. All right. Then we'll work on the house. House will be one of the easiest things to do. Okay. Okay. Let's get some things happening in here. Okay. Which really won't be too bad to do. I did have a, there you are. This is nothing but a, you know, makeup brush you get at Walmart. That's all this is. All right, let's get some dark going. We'll go with the blue. We'll put it right here. Blue and a little bit of red. Always do this deep maroon. Why? Because it gives the appearance of a nice soft black. I would preferably like to use a phthalo blue than the ultramarine blue. And I got a little bit of brown in here. And a little bit of blue, just to darken it up a little. Phthalo blue works better than the ultramarine. But this will work for what I need it for. It's okay. All right, back here. Back here, we're gonna add a little, just, see, get some, now this is just the outlining of the bushes here. You need dark to emphasize things. And we'll kind of pop them in here like this. Just interesting little shapes. Okay, then we'll get a nice size one up in there like that. It's pretty dark. It's pretty dark down below here, but as you go up, light touches, so it looks, you got little pockets of color or whatnot. So it looks like birds can actually fly through that. You got me? Let's kind of make that a little larger there. All right, and then we'll come on here and get it, once again, fairly dark there. Just like that. Once again, adding stuff like that brings everything back even more. Okay. All right. Okay. I don't have to be extremely super detailed back there, but it's just a little something to, you know, something to, you know, kind of pump up the color and the perspective. Using a little bit of that color, that previous color that I used here. Very lightly, very light touches. See this? And interesting groupings. That's how you kind of make this work for you. Interesting groupings of color. I don't have to have them super detailed back there. It's just little bushes, little trees. Try to keep that glow up top, like that. Interesting groupings, guys. Interesting little groupings. Okay, that's all. Little groupings of color. If you can, just keep it pretty dark down below, down in here. All right, all right. I'm gonna do this just because I'm gonna get a little bit of red, nothing else. It's a little bit of red, and we'll put some little bits of fire in there. Look at this. Okay, so we got a little bits of color in here. It kind of separates these from the trees back there. Kind of put it down below here a little bit. We'll kind of pop a couple in here. Up here, get a little bits of red. These little shades of it anyway. Just like that. Put them back there. Okay. All right. We're going to tighten up that ground back there a little bit better. Don't necessarily have to, because what's going to be in front of all of that. So I really don't have to. And I probably won't. I'll probably just leave it like that because it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right. I like this color. That would have been nice for the trees. So we're going to make a little bit more of that. We're going to go into our, we'll use our 1/2" brush. I don't have enough blue, but we are going to use, even the Prussian blue. The Prussian blue would work well too. The Prussian blue is fairly deep. This type of, I mean, Prussian and phthalo are very strong, deep colors. Okay. All right, we're gonna dip into a little Prussian blue. Put it right here. Go into that brown. Put it right up in there. Just like that. Get a little touch of red. Careful. Now we're getting something close to, real close to black, without it being black. Okay. Yes, I am mixing it with this brush. I'm gonna add just a little bit of water. This is a very dark color. A little water to thicken it up a little bit. There's plenty of color. All right. We'll start adding some trees up in there. And you're really just going to see, once again, it's just the trunks of these guys. We'll put a guy right here. Straight up with that fella. These guys I want like poles, straight up and down. They don't branch out. They don't expand. Not these dudes. So we got one there. Maybe a piece of one here. Different places on, okay, different places. We're gonna have one. We're gonna have a slightly larger one here. Bring it up. Press that paint down. Press that paint down. Press it. Press that. He's slightly larger. Obviously, the larger the tree, the closer he is. Right? Right. Put him in there. Don't be shy. Put him in there. Put that guy in there. Put a thin one in there. I'm gonna get a little touch of water. The paint just needs to be a little looser, that's all. And still go with the flat edge of the brush. Keep him physically thinner because it appears that he's further back there. Got me? Just like that. Just put him back there. Doesn't matter if he's the same color. He's not the same size. You get me? He's not the same size. Let's put a medium one right around in here like this. So he's not too wide, but he isn't too thin either. One of those in-between trees there. Like that. Put him in there. Okay. All right. A little more bluish. A little more brown. A little touch of water. Gonna loosen up that paint. We gotta put one. He's a bigger one. He's a bigger one right up around in here somewhere. At least one big meaty one right here. Once again, stop being a chicken. Put that paint on this canvas. Put him in there. Put him in there. It's okay. Put him in. This guy, he's been eating a little more than the rest of the children. Put him in there. He's a bigger fella. Okay. Bigger guy. But you see how everything kind of goes further back? You get me now? All right. This color also makes good shadow color, and I'm about to show it to you right now. This color, get a little water on your brush, just like this. Okay. Get a little water on your brush. So we'll kind of do a quick glaze. Watch this. Take it and add that little shadow in that guy. See that? And you kind of come across it here, like that. You can smooth it out a little bit, those edges. So you can blur the edges a little if you want. Nothing but a glaze. Then you come back around here. Okay. If you need them a little darker, make them a little darker. Up to you. All up to you. How dark you want to make these fellas. Really up to you. Bet you didn't think you'd get that effect, right? So you just keep working at it, guys. Keep working at it. Have fun with it. We'll put another one right here just get the illusion of him, of a couple of them. All right. Yeah. Just put them in there. Put them in there. Okay. This I like the way they look. I like the way it's coming out. We're going to use the same color a little. Well, we'll play around with the water here, but we need some of this dark. All right, phthalo blue, umber, or a little bit of red. It gives you that nice darkness here. I do need the water. I need an inky consistency. Check this out. Oh. See how you pop in some little branches in there like this? Okay. Just like this, pop in a couple of them in there like that. It's like that. You can put a couple of them in here. Make them larger if the trees are closer. Kind of put them in there. I'm just getting a little water. You don't need too many of them. Just like that. Up to you. Okay. These guys are a little closer, so they're a little larger. Pop them in there like that. You don't have to add too many of them if you don't want to. Just like that. And they don't have to reach to the heavens. Okay. Just like that. You know, it's up to you. How much of it you want in there. Up to you. What sells a lot of this is that shadow. Okay. Remember, as you get closer, as you paint tree limbs closer, they get a little larger. Okay. And keep them at a certain height before they start reaching up. Okay, you don't have to bring them all the way down to the bottom. Have them at a certain height. It's fine. This one here, you don't have to see any branches at all. It doesn't matter. These give the appearance that they're further away. You got me? Okay. Don't worry about me painting through that. It's okay. You're not gonna tell when it's all said and done anyway. Okay. All right. Let's take let's clean this brush off. Now we can add our taller grasses again. Take a little bit of water into our light green that we did before. Okay. Now you can add some of this love just like this. Put them right in there. And kind of like this. Look at this. Look. Put them in there. Pop them in there. Put them in there. him in there. There you go. Okay. Now, obviously there's a light and a dark side to a tree. Everybody knows that. You can use the palette knife or you can use a brush. All up to you. It's whatever you know, whatever you feel you're good and what you're comfortable with. Okay. Like I say, being this late at night, I don't think nobody's really watching too much. I'm gonna go get a little bit of white. I'll mix it right with this color that made the trees. See that? I'll just marble it a little bit. Then I'll just kind of bring it over here. And what I'll do, I'll just kind of add little taps of color. I'm just tapping it. Just like this. It added texture all by itself. Just tap the color in there. Don't try to make them, once again, like little tin soldiers. Okay. You're just establishing more or less where the bright side of the tree is, more or less. Like that. Don't need too much of it. Okay. It's just marbled tree color in white. And what I'm doing is I'm flattening the knife to a bit where I see the texture come. And just keep it just like that. But as you can see, how easy it is to kind of form this texture. You got to get comfortable with the palette knife. I wasn't always comfortable with the palette knife. It's just, you just keep doing it. Repetition. Keep doing it. Okay. Maybe a baby one. Maybe not like that. Just go straight down with it a little bit. Okay, and then we put the rest on this one here. Just be careful. If you feel you went heavy-handed, you can always come back with the dark and replace it. Don't worry about it. This fella's closer to us, so you know you might want to give him a little more love. I'm gonna go back into my white. It's easy to return this color. Actually, I can make him a little brighter. He's a little closer to us. So, don't go crazy with it, but he can get a little more. He can get a little more love. Get as close to the edge of the tree that you can. As close to that edge as you can. Okay. Really put it in there. And you can play around with a little bit of the there. You can put a little I'll show you. A little touch of blue and white. Light touch of white, very light. Okay. You still want it fairly dark. I'm gonna brown that up a little bit. Now remember, this stuff gets darker as it dries. Okay, but I'm gonna just play around with a little bit of shadow color over here on the side. Just a little bit of texture there. Okay. So you got a little refracted light. You're having a little fun here with this guy. So if it looks a little gaudy, give it a second, let it dry. It darkens, it will darken on you. But he's a little closer, so he can get this refracted stuff going on with him there. Okay, you can get away with a little bit of that on the medium tree here in the back. Not as much, just a little bit on the opposite end. This is dry on dry. This is not wet on wet. Just like that. Just a little love on that side. Little love. I'm going to take a little bit of white. It'll probably be marbled in a bit. Yeah. Okay. Little touch of white. Just to pinpoint once again where the highlights of the sun will be. Okay. And sometimes all it takes is a little touch of something just for the extreme edge of the just a little bit. Now this is mixed in with blue, this white. I'm just going right towards the edge. Now I'm doing this backwards. Okay, I'm a lefty, so I'm going in reverse doing this. You should be doing it this way. Okay, not this way. This is, don't do that. Technically, if you want to do it the right way, you do it this way. If you're a right-hander, you'll be able to really just get it in and get it in with one stroke. Really, I'm doing the backwards way. Not good. All right, but there you go. Okay, we've been. Hey, Bill, what's going on, man? You up pretty early, 3 in the morning, bro. Well, might be even an hour earlier. It depends on where you are. No, you're in Philly. It's going on 3 o'clock in the morning. It's just me painting away, brother. Okay, so we've did. You got the mist going through here. You got the trees going through here. Different. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff going on back there, and fog and mist in between each layer. Okay, there's trees where you don't think there's trees in back there. They're all back there. Then you got these fellas in here. Okay, yeah. The most detailed one is obviously the one up in front here. He's crossing the path of the cabin. Okay, I'm painting way too many cabins. Okay. I'm done messing with all of this. Let's just work on the cabin here. We're gonna peel this guy apart. Be careful. Once again, I'm painting on paper on top of foam board. So this is being taped. Now let me do something here. Let's put this X-Acto knife away. My windows are still, I cut my windows away independently, okay? So see, there you go. As I'm peeling this away, the windows are independent. They're cut. It just practically cut this stage. Didn't I cut this one? I must not have cut this one. I must have forgot. Thought I cut every one. I thought I cut you. I didn't. Hold on one second. I'm pretty certain that I cut you. I thought I did. Apparently I didn't. So hold on for a minute. It feels like I did cut you. So I don't know why you're still holding on here. I could have swore I cut you out of here. I don't remember. But be very cautious. These I know I cut. I remember cutting these. And I'm just peeling the tape off of the house very slowly. Very slowly. It's a pull lift method so you don't tear up everything. I know I cut you. Okay, yeah. I saved the windows. The door don't matter, but I did save the windows. Okay. This part of it, basically will be the easiest part. I will use a little glycerin for the house. Okay. It just adds to the texture and shading and whatnot. The only thing to do after the house is put some shrubs around it to really include it into the rest of the painting here. Okay. Well, Bill, I don't know how many people are still here. I know Aurora from Sweden. It's got to be around 8 o'clock in the morning there. Sleep Stacks. I might have droned him back to sleep. I haven't seen Sleep Stacks in a minute, so it was good to see him. Okay, like I said, this is very, very early in the morning. And I got choir rehearsal at 11. But I will be there. As a matter of fact, I'll be the first person there. I'm usually the first person there to open up the place. Put the AC on, you know. Okay, we'll use a little bit of glycerin. I could clean some of this up here just to clean it up. If I need to return a color, I can easily do that. But let's scrape off the rest of this gook. All this mess here, it's gonna go bye-bye. We'll get rid of some of this. I'm just scraping off all the dry stuff. Just wipe it away. It leaves my room smelling like a hospital bed, but it's all right. I'll deal with it. Get out of there. All right, let's move on here. I don't need the X-Acto knife anymore. Yeah, this is usually my weekly schedule. Usually. Every once in a while, if my sleep schedule is kind of crazy or whatever, yeah, I don't sleep till very, very, very late at night. And I know I've been on for a while. Okay, let's work on Mr. House here. Oh, let's take, I'll just take the 1/2-inch brush. So I get a little bit of glycerin. I'll put the glycerin here in the center. I get a little bit of brown. I got two different browns. I got the ochre and the umber mixed kind of together. It's all right. I'll mix this in here. Right in with the glycerin. It makes the paint transparent. All right. All right. Let's yeah, well, might as well, since I'm gonna put it on here already, we'll work on this edge. This will be the lighter edge, so we'll kind of put it in there. I'm pretty much glazing it on there. All right, it's got a little bit of blue in it. It's okay. I enjoy having the other colors on there. And we'll add all sorts of little funky things to it. We'll smooth it out. Yeah, I'm gonna put a little blue in this. I like to add various hues and colors to this. This is why I covered the windows also. So I don't have to have any inhibitions about going around things too much. Okay. Don't worry about the patchiness. This is glycerin. It's going to stay a little wet for a little while. I can smooth all of that out. Don't worry about it. We'll get to it. Like I said, this is the easy part of the painting. It's really painting in the cabin. Like I said, I can smooth all that out. That's no big deal. Okay. All right. We'll get a little dot of blue. Okay, and we'll kind of play with that blue all up in here a little bit. So we're messing with a little shadow on this side. It's all right. Pop it in there. See? You sneak in those colors in there. Okay. Now the red is pretty much related to this brown. Okay. See what I'm doing? See how this color melds into the other colors? See that? Real smooth like. See that? Okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Now, this particular blue and this red will make a very deep shadow color. Now I put the brown that I got in here a little light, but it's all right. It's okay, and we'll play around with a little bit of shadow in there. See that? See how you build all that interesting stuff up here? See that? Especially under this awning here. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Pop it in there. Just like that. Now glycerin kind of expands. You follow me? I don't have to have a super red door, just darken that up a little bit. You can shift and move this color around any way you would like. All right, up to you. Up to you. Now this brush kind of holds a decent edge, and so I can go on the slats and kind of play around with the slats a little bit here. I don't necessarily have to do this. Let's get a little shadow going underneath that window, right up around here. So we'll play with a shadow right up in here too with this, just like that. And basically leave it be. This side would be a little darker, no problem. We'll get a little bit of blue, pop it in there. And it's brown right in here like this. Okay. Just like that. It's a little darker on this side. All right. I'll still glycerin. Okay, and we'll thin that out. We'll have a little fun with it. Put it right in there. Put it in there. Glycerin, besides being very, as you can see, it's very pliable. Like I say, this is the easy part of the painting. But you see, you can move this paint around. Like I say, I taped the windows for a reason. This is why. So I can really just get to work on this thing. But I can move it around, fill in the color, like so. Smooth it out. Move it around, like so. No, I don't want to do it that way. Okay. Get a little bit of red. Go back into our red. A little bit of this blue. Pop it in there. A little more blue. Put it in there. Up underneath here, darken that up a little bit. Real soft, I'll feather it a little bit. Just like that. Bring that shadow in there a little bit of shadow in there. Let's keep working at it. Keep working at it. Very light touch, very light touch. Hey, Rory, you're back. You woke up. Yeah, I don't know why Bill's he's doing the late night tonight. He's doing the late night tonight. I'm just gonna build up a little bit of this. Well, actually I can just go here and just add this dark red in here. And I can build up off that, just like that. Kind of layer some of that dark up there, because you know we got a shadow there, just like that. Okay. Whoa! Don't get water. Almost dipped into the water. Bad move. Don't do the water thing. I'm adding a little bit of brown into the dark color because I still want to match that a little better. And so I can always go over what I've done with, see, the brown kind of brings it a little bit together a little more. See, I can always layer that brown on there. We're still keeping all the shades and the values, but I just want to kind of put that brown in there a little bit more, like that. As glycerin dries, it expands, so don't worry. Hashtag don't panic. I'm just getting a little deeper maroon color here, just to build up that right in here, dark half a little bit. It's really fun to add all this stuff to, and you can see as you build up, you can see the appearance of the light hitting on that side. So we're good. We be good. We be good. All right. We still got a little bit of this color. I'm just thinking about. Yeah, we'll do it that way. We'll add a little red to it. I don't know why I like to do this, but we'll add the kind of the red. Get a little glycerin, we'll soften that up, loosen it up a little bit. Makes the paint transparent once again. We'll just kind of do the frame of the building here. Once again, glycerin, it does expand. This is the only time, I think, on this painting I'm using glycerin. Okay. Oh, that's the darker half. Excuse me, I didn't need to do that. I'll add a little brown to this. let's put it in here like that. I'm mixing some purple into this red. Just for a darker version of this color right on this side. It's just a trim of the building here. Okay. We'll add some yellow into it. We'll add some yellow. Can I get a crazy looking roof going here? I always kind of like my roofs a little rough, a little weathered. I'll just dry brush this in here like that. And at least with the roof, I'll just kind of keep a flow of the same kind of slant on this guy. It is more or less the shadow side of this guy, so he's a little on the dark side there. Okay. I fill it in, and then once I fill it in to where I'm satisfied, then I'll start to kind of tighten it up a little bit, even if it's supposed to be kind of rough looking. Okay. A lot of glycerin up paint. I might be able to work with that a little bit. Take a little swipe across. And we're just gonna take it and just kind of pop some. Gotta get this blade as flat to this as I can. And see, we'll pop a little of that dark texture on there. Not looking for perfection here. That's what you don't want. This is a rough roof. I like that. I'm gonna take a tiniest bit of white. You don't see that, that's off camera. And I'll just kind of play around with I'll scumble in some stuff on the light area. Really just kind of rough it in there like that. Cause it's weather beaten, you know. It's seen its better days. Okay. Definitely seen better days. We'll framing this door with it a little bit. We'll frame that door in a bit. Roll it right across there. Let's take a little tiny brush. This one to do. We'll take a little bit of white, mix it in with this brown. We'll get it kind of a grayish color here. I'm not worried about seeing the cobblestone markings that I did. It's okay if I cover those up. It matters not. Okay, swipe that off real quick. Take a little bit of blue, take a little bit of this brown, a little more blue, a little bit of that brown. It's not dark enough. Let's get a touch of red, beef that up. There we go, that's that shadow color. All right, and we're gonna pop a, yep, that's right. The old chimney gets a little love here. That little shadow thing going with this fella. Bring it right down. Like that. Now it's rough for you guys to see it because the light is hitting on that side. Okay, let's start peeling off we're gonna start peeling off those windows. Gentle pull lift so you don't rip into your paper. There. I think I got them all. Let's take a script liner, some water. Oh, we'll go into a little bit of blue. Just water in the script liner right now. Blue and brown makes an interesting gray. And I think I want that more. Get a little water. I think this will be a good color. All right. Let's pop in some of this color right into the windows, right in here a little bit. Just a little water. And so what I'll do is I'll fade using that dark. I'll just kind of use that water and I'll fade that in there so it gives it a nice window kind of a look to it there. Then I'll just use water and just fade that in there a little bit. I don't know if any cabins that has windows that look like this, but you know, hey, why not? Okay. There. It's like that. A little bit of water. Put it into this brown and blue mix. Getting some water, putting it. This is the advantage of watercolor, also. Watercolor paper, anyway. So while it's still wet like that, you can kind of play with it. Because it's still wet, so it's going to blend in to whatever you put next. So it basically it's just blue, maybe a touch of white. So while it's in there, you can blend it right into the other. You can just blend it right in. Just kind of have fun, play around in there. You leave it alone. Once you get the blend in there, leave it be. Something like that. If you gotta bring some of it down, bring some of it down and give it a little curve. Okay. And then you just, I'm drying off my brush and I just smooth it out. Let it dry, it'll blend together. Like that. Cause you know you got light coming in and it's a little dark in there. Okay? Alright. Okay. These guys on the other side, you can do the same thing. Okay. I'll use a flat brush because we'll go quicker with it. Same premise though. I could take some water. I'll just kind of wet the surface because this is watercolor paper essentially. And so I'll use that to my advantage. I'll use some of this light blue stuff. We'll go here on the bottom, right about here. And the water's gonna catch it. It's gonna blend it like that. We're going to a little bit of blue, a little bit of brown. Get that kind of grayish color going. And you blend it right into its buddy there. And it'll just kind of melt into it. It's a timing thing also. It definitely is a timing thing if you can get it right. And just leave it be. It'll gently, once it dries, it'll kind of put itself in there. Now adding white into a color can be tricky because it leaves a chalky residue. So you got to kind of know what you're doing when you, oops, I didn't put any water on that. That's all right. That's all right, we'll work it. There. I'll cover it like this. Okay. I'll cover it, then I'll mix some real dark real quick. And while it's wet, then I'll just kind of take advantage of that. Put it right in there like this. And then I'll just blend it. Now, because I'm a glutton for punishment, and we're nearing the end of this, get a little bit of this dark blue, get a little bit of red, because perfect windows aren't always fun, and because I like being me, we're going to take one. We're going to put a hole in the window. Because I'm just an idiot like that. It took all that time to make a window, now I put a crack in it. The things I do sometimes. So, you got a busted window. You got a busted window. Why did I do that? Who knows? But it got one. He's got a busted window. At the time of painting last night, I did a floral, and I got so caught up in the floral I forgot the butterfly. But I did finish it. But you guys will see it. It's on my page. People will look at this a few years from now and ask what the heck is he talking about, but it's there. Red Rose has got a blue butterfly in there. Okay, guys, I think we just about had it. I think this is about it. Let's give a little bit of color to this door. All right. I think that's it, really. All right. I think that's it. Really do. Just add a little shading to this inner. Make sure my stream isn't being interrupted there. Sometimes I see a little bit of a interruption there. I do believe we got it. I don't think I have to add anything else. I'm always kind of particular about the shadow side of the place. I still got to add that depth in there, so I'll darken this. And as long as I got some depth in there, a little bit of shadow, we're good. All right. Okay. We're going to include this guy into the which isn't difficult to do. We're going to include this fella. We're going to include some include it into the painting, and we're just basically it's just adding a little shrubbery around the property here, on this fella, just to kind of include it into the there. Actually, we could have it go up into the glass a little bit there, just like this. not difficult to add. Just a little bit of, just to add it into, it brings it into the painting a little more. So it's just not like sitting on top of the painting. It's like you know, there. Something like that. Something very simple like this will add to that. A little bit of yellow, a little bit of white. I'll put it in there like this. That's it. Just add a little brightness to where some direct sunlight is. And all you do is go over the yellow you previously had before. It'll wake up those little sunspots. And once you add that, it kind of also brings out those shadows a little more that you previously had. You follow? You got me? Okay. A little bit in here. You add super bright when you got something kind of questionably really dark or whatnot. It brings out that darkness more. Okay. You see that? So you got all sorts of happenings going on in there. Okay. All right. I think we've done enough. And I think I ran my mouth enough. You're more than welcome, Aurora. I didn't know you were still there. Okay, let's take this off. Let's take that guy off. Let's expand this. That's what it's supposed to look like. You'll still hear me. Yeah, you'll still hear me. I'm just gonna take my face off of here, okay? All right, well, there you go. Let's take the, now as I'm talking to you, I'm gonna clean off my palette. And I'm gonna take the tape off. Oh, this is alcohol. So let me clean off my palette real quick, and I'm gonna take the tape off. Now I have masking tape on this. Masking tape, the glycerin, for some unknown reason, the glycerin doesn't seem to kind of go through the masking tape. It kind of repels it. So it gives me a very clean edge, which is the reason why I use the clear, not masking tape, excuse me, Scotch tape. It's Scotch tape, the clear tape, Scotch tape. So I'm just cleaning off my palette. I'm gonna wipe it off. Only takes a few seconds. What the heck is going on? What happened here? Why did it do that? I know I didn't shut nothing off. It's my tablet acting up, guys. Hold on. I know you still probably see me. But for some reason my tablet conked out. But I know I didn't conk out. So I don't know why my tablet did that. Anyway, let's peel this tape off. Why is it doing this? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like I said, it gives a really decent sharp edge. Okay, I see things want to be difficult here with my tablet. I don't have my phone with me, so, but I think Aurora, you're still with me here. This is why I'm going to get another tablet, because this tablet is terrible. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. But it did give me trouble for the last few hours, so I can't complain too much. But as you see, a very tight, sharp edge. There. Of course there's no notifications, dude. I would show you what this would look like in a frame, but my computer's acting like a pure idiot right now. And right at the very last bit of the painting, it wants to do this. Of course, I didn't sign my name on this, but I can easily do that. That's no big deal. Put my name right here. Just use a Sharpie. It's no big deal. There it is. I don't have to really do anything more than just to add that 7. All right. Like I said, I would put it in a frame to show you what it looks like in a frame, but at this time of morning, nah. All right. But the cabin is there, fogged up background there with this yellow, orangey, but I fogged it up with white. There's rows of trees actually going up a hill, but it's in the fog there. So you got batches of fog in there. Overall, it's fogged up in the back. Okay, these guys pushes that back, brings the rest in the foreground. The home is pretty much integrated into the painting. It was just a black and white sketch, so it's integrated into the painting. You get your bursts of sunlight in here. We added the shadows, so you actually know where the sunlight's coming from. And the shadows, it's pretty early in the morning with this, so you pretty much see where you stand with all of that. Why the heck is this thing doing this? I am really gonna get rid of this tablet. The tablet's no good. But everything is there. And you guys know the procedure. Even at this time in the morning, I shall take a pretty decent photograph of this thing, and I can shut this camera off. I shall take a photograph of this. I'll turn this light off. I don't need it. And you guys get to see it on social media, more than likely later on in the day or whatnot. From the time of this painting. So with all of that said, I can't even tell if you guys are saying goodbye or not, because like I said, my poor tablet has it's about, oh, there you guys are. Okay, Aurora and Bill and who else might be present. Like I said, maybe the guys in England are probably up and watching me along with Aurora. I can still look at you guys' comments, even though my tablet is bad. My actual webcaster, it shows the comments, so I know I got 3 people watching it at least. But I appreciate you, I really do. I suppose I shall see you guys when I see you. And until next time, stay safe, be well, and root for your Olympics, even if they are wearing masks and are performing in an empty stadium. It's so sad. All right, guys. Peace.